So we're here for Trybe House and Blackman Consortium meeting up to have a discussion. 25 crusty old men, Gen X, versus 25 new bloods, the young bloods, at Brixton House. We're gonna have some guests. Lord Herman from Charlotte, that's Cyril from the bill as well. We've got Orin Lewis OBE. We're going to come and explain more about ACLT, African Leukemia Trust, and the need to give blood. Excuse me. I've got allergies. Never had this back in the West Indies. Come to this country, I've got allergies. And then we're going to have, we're going to meet the leader of Trybe House, Philip, and a few more guests. But yeah, we're going to end Mental Health Week by having a discussion with the guys. So, Gen X meets Gen Z. Or, not Gen Z, what do we call them? New generation? I don't know.
Keep it really simple. So I would say, I looked at a door in the classroom, and so you just say, something rhyming with the word "or" in the classroom. So I looked at a door in the classroom.
I imagined being on tour in the classroom.
Perfect. Great. Yeah, so raw in the classroom. Yeah, good. Next.
So, yeah, I've been here for some 43 years now. A couple of things I will say, because I know this is partly about mental health, partly about generational stuff. We have a lot of difficulty talking, particularly as black males, I find, over the years. I know I certainly did. I came from the background of Nigerian Biafran-born mixed parentage of Barbados, Nigeria. Lots of stuff going on, lots of issues, lots of stuff I couldn't talk about, or felt I couldn't talk about. Lots of racism in the 60s and 70s, late 60s, 70s when I arrived here, and you couldn't deal with that. He was the toughest guy in the school. He used to bully me for 4 years on the trot until I had enough, and then I put his nose into the desk, and I was the one thrown out of school because I had kept this stuff, daily slappings and whatever in my head, and finally when I saw red and reacted, everybody's going, oh my God, he's got mad, and blah, 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 whatever else. And that stuff is difficult to deal with. Particularly older black men, particularly coming from a family of a single mother, because that was just the way it was, bringing up 4 kids in that time. Older black men, I had to find my father figures, and I found them. I found them in actors and others, people like Norman Beaton, who were larger than life men, who, although they had issues of their own, be that drinking, whatever, blah, blah, this sort of stuff.
And what happens in that encounter will be a number of 3 things. Either you're going to join their movement and the 2 of you go off doing that thing, or they join your thing.
Outside of that was obviously battling, coming out of the pandemic, COVID, and how that had a knock-on effect on audiences and people's general interest in theatre and the performing arts, against the board's own sort of fixation with revenue and all of those things came to head, came into conflict. About is rarely seen, is rarely explicitly disclosed or shared, and for it to be done in a very entertaining medium, a rousing sort of medium like a musical, I think will be particularly unique and hopefully long-lasting and affecting experience for people to sort of encounter and continue to talk about, but most importantly have seen here first of all. So that is part of my journey.
Nailing this, and look at the response of these young black men. The theatre, the arts, the music, the poetry, the mind, body, and soul. And I'm now bringing this element to it to say, look, actually, we've got something in us which is so powerful. We don't need anyone else's help. We can do it for ourselves to bring those sickle cell patients what they need on a regular basis. Because if you've got the RO type, the blood service are going to say, literally, we want to put you in mothballs because we need you every time for those patients. We started the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. If your genes are African, Caribbean, mixed heritage, and they go back to Africa, you're in. And we're going to target you to try and to get registered and to see whether you can be the lottery winner for Daniel or others like him. And we started working arm in arm with other patients around the country. We were going up and down to Birmingham and other places in London. We go to shopping malls. We were down in Brixton and all sorts of places, trying to talk to black people, holding posters up that said, if it was a single one of Daniel or two other boys either side of him, if this boy or these boys were white, would they survive? And you get different reactions from white and black people. White people will go, you can't do that, that's racist. We would explain, no. And black people were like, oh, he's coming for me. He's looking at me. He's targeting me. And they would try to deviate and walk away. But we would have these posters, big A3, and say, no, we're talking to you. Because you're the person that could help my son and others. So we were doing this. This carried on for 2 years. We were getting into crowds and shopping centers and schools. And slowly people were coming forward. And back then, you had to be, I think, in a blood sample to be tested. And be put on a register in the hope that maybe you might be someone's lottery winner in this country or around the world, because it's a worldwide registry. Then race is a factor. And at the moment, there's not enough black people, especially black men, donating blood to help those sickle cell warriors. Daniel didn't make it because he was getting best intentioned blood donations, but it wasn't a good match. He would be at the hospital saying, where is it? Where is this blood donation? And they're saying, it's at the labs, we're trying to cross-match, but every time he gets a blood donation, his profile keeps changing, because every time you get it from different people, the antibody buildups change the profile of his blood. And so you're looking for similar people, it ain't gonna happen. And in the end, it affected his organs. Sickle cell patients are in the same boat. They will get blood transfusions from well-intentioned white people because it shows they're still the main who are doing it. But if they can get it from people who are ethnically similar to them, and especially, this is the kicker, there's a subtype, a blood subtype called RO. It's the gold standard. If a sickle cell patient gets the RO, it's like, yes, I'm buzzing, because that O negative that you're giving me, it will last, it will do it, it'll have an effect. But if I get the RO, whoa, I'm buzzing.
Oh, what a nice session. And my takeaway for me, seriously, just to being around these guys from Trybe House, is that, you know what, the young younger generation and the older generation can work together to make a difference. My takeaway really is that ending up with having Cyril, having Orin, having people like Philip who are trying to make a change or difference is that you have to be in it to change it, and you have to be willing to do the work. And this is mental health, right? So this is mental health month, and this is the end of mental health week. And that we did a trust exercise, not trust exercise, but more of a coordination exercise with Cyril. And it was just nice to be able to work together. And Cyril, just in case you're looking for your balls, Cyril, I have your balls. You left your balls behind. I have your balls that we did exercise with. So when you're ready, could you contact the BMC or contact Tony to get your balls back. But thank you so much for coming down. It was nice meeting you. And there'll be a lot more coming that we've done in the previous days in the week around mental health, men's mental health, general mental health, children's mental health. The NHS, PCREF, which is the new framework coming out for the NHS that looks at equality and patient care. We did it in Lambeth, we did it in Croydon Council, and we also did play. We did a little play or plays in Brixton Library, looking at, I would say, lack of justice in the community, and the community really engaged with that one as well. And I met some lovely people. I met the first in that program, or that little session with the plays that we did. I met the first ever black social worker from Greenwich Council. Nice Jamaican lady. So we had a nice conversation, and I will actually share her story one day of what she went through, being black, being a social worker, being Jamaican, being West Indian, and all the struggles she went through. But yeah, that's it for me. And the one thing that came up though is that Sinners. I went and watched Sinners, and I've got to say, in Norwood Library. Norwood has a cinema in there, 3 screens, and linking it to today, it shows that unity works. If you're working separately, you're easily taken out. But not all unity is good. It's under what banner you unify? Are you unifying for power? Are you unifying for people power? Are you unifying for justice? Is what you're unifying for. But unity, there's strength in unity. This unity, you can get picked out easily. And sometimes your enemy is not who you think they are. Sometimes they're hidden. And for life, if you want a good life, sometimes you have to protect yourself and don't let that evil into your life. But once you allow that evil, sometimes it's hidden, sometimes it's disguised, but once you allow that evil into your life, it can take over. But that's it for today, for our mental health week. And yeah, there'll be some others coming up, not also for the month, because this is mental health month as well. So you guys enjoy it. And Cyril, please come and get your balls. I love you in Charlotte, I love you in the Bill, but I don't want to have your balls. Please come and get your balls. Thank you. Have a nice evening.